Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today, we're in the presence of greatness and we're discussing the Vacheron Constantin Skeleton Tourbillon reference 30051 in 18-karat rose gold with skeletonized and engraved 1-minute tourbillon caliber. You can see and you can purchase this 1990s Vacheron tourbillon on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this 38mm rose gold complication. Now, the watch on my wrist was part of a larger family of 300 pieces, some with solid dials, some with skeletonized and engraved calibers made between 1990 and 2000. This one, based on its hallmarks and movement serial number, is probably late 1994, early 1995. It has the pre-1995 Helvetic head hallmarks, if you're familiar with that, versus the St. Bernard that followed. This one has the golden lady. Now, the watch is 38mm, which would have been considered fairly large for a men's dress watch back in the 1990s, but the timepiece today appears discreet, compact, even modest given what lies within that 38mm case. It's an easy watch to wear on my 16cm circumference wrist, as 38mm is the diameter, 43.8mm is the lug-to-lug dimension, so I can tell you without reservation that this watch will wear easily on a wrist as small as 13cm in circumference. And though not thick, it's also not thin. It's the shape that really counts, as it has a generously rounded case flank and a stepped conical bezel, so it will easily slide underneath a dress cuff. Back in the day, Vacheron Constantin was owned by Middle East investors in the pre-Richemont era from roughly 1987 to 1996, and oftentimes we don't discuss those watches because they're comparatively rare and oftentimes out of fashion by the standards of today. This watch is a strikingly timeless effort from that period. All of rose gold, you can see that the lugs are exquisitely constructed with an old school lateral hallmarking and soldered in each case, welded to the case with all material removed to create a seamless joint. Semi-conforming spring bars are used to allow the lugs to be drilled a little bit closer to the case and at the same time allow unrestricted movement of the strap, which is a simple dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather strap paired with a Vacheron Constantin Maltese cross motif rose gold buckle. But the highlight of the watch, as handsome as the case is and as classically proportioned and charmingly rounded and stepped, the highlight of the watch is the movement. It would be called the 1760 in a conventional reference 30050, but in a 5-1 skeletonized and engraved, it should really be the 1760 SQ. You can see everything. It keeps no secrets. Entirely skeletonized to the point that it almost appears too fragile to be a functional machine, and then freehand engraved. I'm going to see how close I can get to show you these exquisite details, but the watch is both skeletonized and engraved, and that shows to better effect on the caseback, where you can really see how the freehand engraving was wrought atop the bridges and into the plates. Now, the movement is a 28 joule twin mainspring barrel, 50-hour power reserve, manual winding 1-minute tourbillon, and if you're up on your Vacheron history, you know that Vacheron during the 90s was not equipped to churn this out from plate to bridges. This was a collaboration based on a La Manna caliber that was then exquisitely elaborated, decorated, skeletonized, and engraved by Vacheron. I have never spent more time or energy looping a movement in my entire tenure with Watch You Want, Govberg, and Watchbox, and this was the single most rewarding as well as most exhilarating experience I've had with a 10-power loop. You'll note the 50-hour power reserve supplied by fully skeletonized and exquisitely finished mainspring barrels, propelling the tourbillon a 1-minute featuring a chronometer-styled blued overcoil hairspring for concentric beating in any position, and there's a power reserve scale at 12 o'clock just beneath a Vacheron Constantin Maltese cross with faceted Dauphine hands at center. Now, I specifically started the video with the watch not running because I wanted you guys to see it come to life. The animation of the power reserve, the beating of the hairspring, the advance of the tourbillon carriage. 18,000 vibrations per hour, Slow, steady, and massive. That's how this balance operates. And you'll note that the power reserve scale begins to move, the tourbillon begins to advance, and you'll also be able to see the mainspring barrels in action. Twin mainspring barrels in series for a nice even torque release over 50 hours. And of course the hairspring, perhaps having even more of an influence than the tourbillon regulator on the regularity of the timekeeping, the overcoil structure enabling the hairspring's center of gravity to be located closer to the balance staff. The finishing is the best in the world. You won't see any finer. Note as I turn the watch flush to the camera that the entire tourbillon bridge, as well as the Maltese cross motif that is hand engraved into it, is black polished. All the screws, as you'll note, are black polished, and you will not find finer finish on a keyless works anywhere in the world of watchmaking. The keyless works, and you can see it because it's laid bare entirely, is the clutch mechanism, the springs, the winding pinion and the crown wheel, the sliding pinion, the pivots, all of that associated with the operation of winding and setting. This is an extraordinary effort, and if you must ask, consider water resistance to be 0, as this one has the most traditional of snapback cases. Exquisitely made inside and out, but particularly on the inside. You're likely never to see another. Though 300 examples of the 00050 and 00051, this one, were constructed, only a handful were entirely skeletonized and engraved, and because it is all freehand, no two of them are exactly alike. You can see and you can purchase this all-time great Vacheron Constantin Tourbillon on our website.